Patriot Prime Reviews is a channel for adult collectors and may not be suitable for children under 13 years of age. Viewer discretion is advised.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Patriot Prime here once again with another Toyhax.com sponsored review. But before we get started, I need you guys to do me a favor. If you're watching this video right here and are not a subscriber of Patriot Prime Reviews, please hit that subscribe button right now. It won't cost you a thing, but will help me and my channel out tremendously. Now, on to the decals. And the set we're looking at in this video is the brand new decal set for the War for Cybertron Siege Netflix Megatron with Pinpointer and Lionizer. And this is a pretty big set with lots of options. You've got 2 decal sheets on foil backing and 2 decal sheets on vinyl. So without further ado, let's take a look at Megatron both before and after Toyhax decals. And welcome to Patriot Prime Reviews. Straight out of the packaging, the Battlemasters Lionizer and Pinpointer are very colorful and great callbacks to their original Generation 1 toys. Taking a closer look at Lionizer, primarily orange and silver. You've got a translucent blade up here at the top. Got some painted blue eyes, lots of molded details, and that's about it. Quickly transforming him to weapon mode. You'll see that everything pretty much carries over from robot mode or beast mode. You've got silver down here for the blade, there's the translucent plastic up top, and he now has a translucent handle. Now let's take a look at Pinpointer. Pretty much the same thing. Lots of great molded detail. He's got a silver face, and that's pretty much it for this guy. Let's go ahead and quickly transform him into weapon mode. And just like Lionizer, lots of molded detail carry over into weapon mode. He looks really, really good. He just needs something else to really make him pop. So there we have both Battlemasters, Lionizer and Pinpointer, before and after. Now let's take a look at Lionizer once again. First, in weapon mode, he gets a brand new decal right there along the blade on both sides. On the side of the figure, you've got decals right there. And that's pretty much it for weapon mode. Quickly transforming him back to beast mode. All the decals carry over. You've got the orange decal right there on top of the weapon. The silver decals are now on the hips. And he has a new decal right there around his waist. Now, the easiest way to apply that is to just pop the arm off. That way you can get in there and make sure the decal is secured. And that is pretty much it for Lionizer. Now taking a look at Pinpointer. Pinpointer gets an absurd amount of decals for such a small figure. They knocked it out of the park with this guy. He looks awesome. Here on weapon mode, the first thing you probably notice is the missile pods have new decals. There's also silver decals around the edge and some red decals there underneath. Along the side, you've got new red decals there, blue decals about in the middle, and that's it for weapon mode. Quickly transforming him to robot mode. Still a lot of great decals. He gets this little tiny gold decal there for the crest. You get quite a few options or extras of those, and Toyhax got mine on the first try. He also gets new decals there on the chest, new decals for the arms, blue there on the knees, and red decals down there on the shins. I mean, this guy, whoops, didn't get him transformed all the way. There we go. I mean, this guy looks awesome. It was almost like putting decals on a deluxe figure for Pinpointer. So there you go, guys. One final look at Lionizer and Pinpointer after. In vehicle mode, straight out of the packaging, Megatron looks more like a stealth tank now thanks to his darker color scheme. And that darker color scheme looks really good on this figure. You've got blacks, two-tone gray, silver. You've got some red areas to help break up all that dark color, and some yellow headlights right here on the front. And really, that's about it. This is a vehicle mode that we're all really familiar with, thanks to this version being released now 4 different times. A really good looking tank, except for the feet hanging off the back, but it is what it is. And I think this looks really good as is. So here's one final look at Megatron in vehicle mode before and after. Now, the first thing you may be noticing is the brand new armor plating that Megatron has right here above the tank treads. I think that looks really good, especially with the rivets. Now, right here, you do get the option where you could have a plain armor plate or one with a Decepticon insignia, and I, of course, always go for the insignias. Along the sides, you also have some red lights right there, and right there along the turret, a P38 decal, and we all know what P38 stands for. Along the front of the vehicle, Megatron gets a new decal right there for his hatch, and the squiggly lines right there along the front, which is a representation of his Generation 1 self. You do get options. You could have either the squiggly lines there or these plain decals. Now, I tried the plain silver before, but it just blended in too much. I really didn't notice a difference, so I went with a squiggly line instead. Also, what is up with these Autobot symbols for Megatron? I know he turned Autobot in IDW, but I swear, as long as I still function, my Megatron will never wear an Autobot insignia. Moving on to the other decals, you have new decals right there on the front and headlights right on the front of the treads. On top of the vehicle, you've got these lighted decals there, a decal there, and yellow decals right there within the red. The back of the vehicle, you've got these purple and silver decals on the rear of the turret. And on the back of the vehicle, he has tail lights or brake lights. You know, you got to be safe when you're the evil ruler of the Decepticons. So there you go, guys. There is one final look at Megatron in tank mode after. In robot mode, straight out of the packaging, Megatron looks amazing. As I said in my video review of this figure, this is by far my favorite use of the Siege Megatron mold. I have all 4 versions. This is by far my favorite. My only complaint with the figure is right here on the head, his brow. They did not color in the triangles. Those triangles should have been black. But other than that, I've got no real complaints with the figure. Lots of great molded details, as we all know from the Siege Megatron mold. Great paint scheme. The paint scheme on this guy looks fantastic with all the silver, the gray, the two-tone look, especially down there on the legs. That looks really good. Don't really understand why they gave him all the splotches on his underwear, but hey, it's nothing I can't live with. Nice shiny paint applications down there on his torso control panel. Two-tone look there on the fusion cannon. The sword has lots of nice details, but it's kind of plain, but no big complaint there because I pose my Megatron with the sword attached to the back. Back of the figure, more of that two-tone look. I mean, this is a great looking Megatron, my absolute favorite version, and I can't wait to see how Toyhax improves on this already awesome looking figure. So there you go, guys. One final look at Megatron in robot mode before and after. And wow, does Megatron look amazing now. First off, my big complaint with the figure has been fixed. Megatron now has new decals right there in the brow to give it a black look. Also, up here on his helmet, he gets these new silver enhancing decals that kind of add a little bit more flair to the helmet. Those go all the way around and on the back of the helmet as well. If I will focus in, you've got that little yellow triangle. Now you also see a new decal here on the chest. It kind of covers up all the battle damage, though some of the battle damage does show through slightly, but it's really not that bad. You do get a couple options. You get the clear chest here or the Generation 1 inspired squiggly lines. I went with the clear version because I have the Toyhax decal set for the first Siege Megatron, and I went with the G1 squiggly lines on that one. Megatron also gets new silver enhancing decals right here on the shoulders, little decal right there, yellow decals right there on the bicep. Down here on the control panel area, he gets these new red decals, and underneath the arm, decals right there. He also gets a new red decal there and a yellow decal that enhances the yellow that was already there from before. He also gets a new decal here on the crotch, on the legs, new kneecaps, very subtle decals right there. Still looks really good. You've got some of the red that carries over from vehicle mode. Inside the legs, you get new decals here and yellow decals right there. And then finishing up on the feet, you get these decals that go all the way around, which looks like it adds some tread to his feet. Now, taking a look at the sword gets new chrome blades. I love that. That looks really good. The original Siege Megatron had that chrome look on his sword as well. And speaking of Siege Megatron, or the original, here he is with a couple of the options that I mentioned earlier. Now, there is an option with the Netflix Megatron to give him a black helmet. And I did that with my original Siege Megatron just so I can see what it looked like. It looks okay. I mean, it may have looked better on him, but I wanted to go with the silver because that's kind of the way, he looks. I wanted him to be cohesive. But this doesn't really look that bad and actually kind of adds a new look to that figure. And you can see the Generation 1 squiggly lines there on the chest. Now, speaking of the chest, a couple other decals that I almost forgot about. You've got these new black decals right here and new decals there on the vent. So all in all, I am really loving how the Netflix Megatron looks now. I almost forgot to show off his fusion cannon. If you take a look here, he gets a new silver stripe along the barrel. And on this side, I really like this one. It looks like a charging indicator going from green to yellow to red. So that is really, really cool. I am loving this Megatron figure. I couldn't be happier. This thing looks great. So there you go, guys. One final look at Netflix Megatron after. Toyhax really surprised me with their decal set for the Netflix Megatron 3-pack. I really didn't think Megatron needed that much improvement, but Toyhax proved me wrong. Now, granted, Lionizer isn't that much to write home about, but Pinpointer and Megatron look fantastic. My hat's off to the design team. This is a fun set to apply. This is a challenging set to apply, and it's great that they include so many options and extra decals for you in case you screw up. Now, if you're interested in a decal set for your Netflix Megatron 3-pack, there'll be a link in the description below. Now, if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe, and don't forget to click that bell icon to get notified when I upload new reviews. Once again, this is Patriot Prime, signing out. Hooah!